Okay, what I'm about to read right now is from Second Kings, chapter 17, verse 17, and I highlighted it. Now, before I read this verse, my goal in this message is not to cater to any individual who's a parent and calls himself a believer or just a parent in general, all right? My job is not to cater to your guys' feelings and be uh, um, um, sensitive into the sense to where I'm giving into not speaking the truth to you guys because I love you guys too much. I'm here to make you guys feel uncomfortable in your sin, not to condemn you or look down on you. And when you mess up, look down on your sin, but to get you to be uncomfortable in your sin and realize the dangers in it. You see, I'm gonna say some things, and I'm gonna hope that it reaches you, but it's the reality and it is the truth. And in this message, I'm gonna use Gabriel Hernandez, which is a child, a kid who we all know. There was a big documentary on how he died because the parents were evil towards him, and how they were beating on him, and how they were, putting him in cages and making him dress a certain way, and it was just a big documentary that went around that everybody's seen. We all know that case, the Gabriel Hernandez case. So what I'm about to read you, I hope that this wakes you up as a parent. It says, and they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divinations and enchantments, and sold themselves to the devil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna explain this. Back in the day, there was a god that was called Moloch, right? And Moloch was, they had this big old statue of him, and in the middle was like a furnace, and these individuals, certain types of individuals, would grab their children, their sons and their daughters, and they would throw in this fire to sacrifice their kids. And they would have drums, and they would beat on the drums real loud so that the surrounding neighbors wouldn't hear the cries of the children that were burning in this fire. And these individuals will do that to gain power and gain money. This human sacrifice has been going on since back then. All right, these were evil people. Well, let me break it down to you in today's sense. When we don't discipline our kids, or we don't bring them up in the Lord, and we don't show them how to pray and how to treat each other nice and how to be obedient to us and how to talk a certain way, and we just let them watch whatever they want, talk how they talk, treat us the way they want to treat us, be in school fighting, and we don't give them no discipline. We are causing our children to be thrown into the fire. Okay, that's like telling God that we don't care about our children. We don't care whether they go to hell or not, because we ain't disciplining our children according to the way He wants. So I'm saying this because I know a lot of my family members and stuff like this. We love our children with all our hearts, but how far does that love go if we ain't disciplining them, knowing that there's a place called hell, and we're allowing them to do whatever it is they want, and we're basically just throwing them to the fire? That's why us as parents, we have a responsibility. We brought them in here, so we must discipline them, and we must show them the ways of the Lord. This is serious. That's why the world is the way it is, because parents forgot to be parents. And now we got a bunch of people in this world that just don't care. They're killing each other, selling drugs, raping people, all kinds of stuff. And that's because parents forgot to be parents. Now to the Gabriel Hernandez case. A lot of parents in this world, when they watched that, they were angry. They were angry at this these people. It got everybody angry because we have children, and we wouldn't do that to these children, right? Well, let me tell you guys something. There's a place called hell where these demons don't care. Where these demons don't care, and they do worse. They do worse to the ones that are in there than what these parents did to to that poor kid. So what does that say about you as a parent? If you don't raise your kids right, and they grow up in sin and they die in sin, and then now they're in a place where they're being tormented, worse than that. So think about that as parents. I know that I got loved ones out there that love their children, and that love them with all their heart. That's something that I can vouch for. But at the end of it all, I also see a lot of parents letting their kids get away with things, talk a certain way, watch whatever they want, act a certain way, and some of these parents even think it's funny. You know, that ain't right. We got to raise our kids up in the Lord because this stuff's serious. Their blood will be on our hand. How is it going to be on Judgment Day when you're getting sentenced, and then your kids look at you and they're like I followed you here, like, and there's nothing you can do about it, and they're like, I followed you here. Why did you let me come to this place? Like I followed you to hell, and now you got to live with the fact that your children are in hell with you. It's time for us to wake up, man, and change our lives. You guys understand, give your life to Jesus Christ. This stuff's serious, and start raising your kids right, in the ways of the Lord. If it ain't in the ways of the Lord, I'm gonna be 100, it ain't right. Remember that Jesus loves you guys. I only speak the truth. Jesus, he's the way, the truth, the life. No man goes to the Father except through him. God bless.